Hi, I'm Chris Swain. I'm the chair of the game department at New York Film Academy. Games are arguably the next frontier for storytelling. We can tell stories with these computers now that we could never do before. We're focusing on building people who can become creative leaders. You're going to learn how games work as systems. You get to run your own studio, and you can apply that knowledge to board games, mobile games, console games, location-based games, etc. No one else has done that. Absolute foundation for you to go any place with this form.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I'm Sean Spencer.
I'm Gina Teresa.
And you are watching the NYFA Twitch channel, Schooled! Our guest tonight has been working in video games for over 20 years. He's been involved in many, many successful video games, including Pac-Man World, the Maximo series, God of War, Drawn to Life series, Darksiders, one of my personal favorites, and Warhammer 40K, among others.
He is a former Disney Imagineer and currently teaches video game and tabletop game design here at the New York Film Academy's Los Angeles campus. And right now, tonight, we are demoing his brand new board game that he designed himself, start to finish, Rayguns and Rocketships. Everybody, Scott Rogers! It was going to be like this big reveal, but then like it's really hard to get in and out, so he's just been here the whole time.
The ropes kept breaking when I would
and like we
get
talked about
down.
him like he wasn't here, which was kind of awkward, but he was, so...
It's okay. The intro is fine.
Thanks.
Well, thank you. Yeah, nice to see you guys again.
Yeah, it's great to have you back on the show.
Nice to be back. This is my second time now.
Second
I
time.
believe second time. All right. Well, let's make this an annual thing.
Yes.
So I'm here to show off my brand new board game, which is coming tomorrow to Kickstarter.
That's right.
To Kickstarter. Can you believe that? It's so amazing. I've been working on this for a little while. It's called Ray. Thank you. Well, I hope that was a compliment.
Yeah, it was. No. How could that be misconstrued? I don't know.
This is Rayguns and Rocketships. It is a 1930s science fiction themed skirmish action game. So this is a game in which you play a Planeteer faction. So in the universe of Rayguns and Rocketships, we are all Planeteers. We come from different races, but the thing is, we don't like each other that much. We all pretty much just want to kill each other on sight. So in this game, this is a game where you fly your rocket ship around and you hunt down your enemies and you try to destroy them for the most points. And so in the game, there are 4 different Planeteer factions. The first are, well, let's go over here to the one that Sean is at. So these are the Astro Rangers. They are very speedy humans that zip around in their rocket ship and using their jetpacks. And each of the guys have a little jetpack on it. And they've got little guns and little swords. We'll talk about those in a minute. Then Gina over here, she is the Zard.
I get to be the lizard people.
Yeah, she's the lizard people.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they can fight.
No, kill him.
Hey,
and we'll get to the killing.
Yes. So cute.
Yeah, the Zard are lizard guys. They're a very noble race. They're fencers and very honorable, and they're very polite. Although they look like horrible lizards, but they have an unfortunate penchant for cannibalism. So every once in a while they eat each other.
Well, that's why they were fighting.
I was waiting for the twist.
There's always a little
twist. They seem very cultured for lizards.
Yeah, they're pretty cultured lizard guys. You know, I don't want to give lizard men a bad name. And then we have the third Planeteer faction. These are the Star Pirates.
Man.
And these guys here, they used to be the military in this universe, but they decided there's more money in being pirates. And they have skull masks, and their jetpacks look kind of like cannons and things like that. Oh, yeah, up there. And they're led by, well, we'll talk about the captains in a second. So they're very shooty. And then finally we have kind of everybody's favorite faction, the Blarg. The Blarg. And the Blarg are the sentient cyclopean brains that wear mechanical pants. And they have horrible mind control powers. And each of the Planeteer factions are led by a special captain. The Blarg are led by the Master Brain.
Oh, yeah.
This guy here. We've got the Zard captain. He's the Fanglard. Here we have Count Ventura. And finally, we have Jessie Novastar. She's the captain of the Astro Rangers.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we have a nice variety of different types of archetypes, if you know your 1930s science fiction. And the game itself is pretty simple to play. In it, we get a deck. Here, go ahead and grab your deck here.
Which
you
one's
get
mine?
Yep, right there,
This
where it
one,
has your Zard on the back.
Right. There's purple.
Yeah, so each of them are color-coded. And if you flip over the cards, now keep in mind this is a prototype. And a prototype is essentially my working copy of the game that I use to get people excited about it, to play test it, and to eventually sell the game to a publisher. And that publisher is IDW Games. They're the same guys that publish the IDW comic books. So you might be familiar with some of the stuff. They do all types of
I see. You
really
got
cool
like
games.
little, like, he's like, enemies, no. crew members.
Yes, exactly. So on the cards, Gina's looking at some cards that have some stuff that's scratched out. So you can see that I've been working on this and kind of going, that's not quite right. Let me scratch that out. So the cards themselves, there's two different types of cards. There are command cards, which don't have a little star in the corner. We'll talk about the ones with the star in a second. But these move your ship around, and you're gonna program these in one at a time. You're gonna program up to 3. So, for example, if I want to move my Belarge saucer forward, I would use my forward card, and I'd set that down. I said, you know what? I want to go a little more forward with my next move, and then my third one, I'm gonna rotate port. Because we speak nautical here in outer space, port and starboard. So I'm going to lay it down like this. And I'm going to keep it a secret while you guys program me in yours.
Okay.
Now, the other thing that the players can do is at certain points of the game, you're going to be able to get to add these star cards. And these star cards have like really crazy Planeteer faction specific abilities. So for example, I, being the Blarg with mind powers, I have a mind blast card. Gina's got, what do you have?
I have hold.
Oh, that's your hold. Yeah, so you can hold your ship steady. And the reason why you want to hold your ship steady is to do boarding actions. We'll talk about that. What about you, Sean? What do you have over in your Astro Rangers deck?
I got a lot of directions. I can go all over space.
Let's look at the other ones, right? So here you have Weld to Hatch. That's going to keep bad guys from coming in. Here's a good one. Rangers Attack.
And this one, I was interested in this one.
Oh, let's see what that
Gina
one is.
just covered.
Oh, which one is that?
Trigger Happy.
Oh, yeah, Trigger Happy. That allows you to re-roll ranged combat attacks. So if you're not shooting very well, you can re-roll those dice and give you a better chance.
I like that.
I
feel like I would need that.
Yeah, exactly. It's a nice little edge up for the team. So the way you do is you program in your cards, including the star cards. So you pick 3 of those, and you're going to start out, actually the star cards are going to get separated, because I didn't want you to have this huge, unmanageable hand to begin with. Right. So you get to pick kind of your favorite card and add that to your hand. So I'm gonna grab this one, Beamer Ray. This is a good one. And then I got this hand of these other 6 cards plus my star card. So I get to choose at the beginning of the game which one do I want to program in. Boom, boom, boom. 1, 2, 3. Once everybody is programmed in all 3, we're ready to roll. So, we have one other thing actually we need to do. And I've already done it for us, and that is to set up our crew. Because the inside of the rocket ships, the crew can move around and do different functions. So you guys know that game FTL, that video game FTL? You don't know? You never heard of FTL? So FTL is this really cool little video game where you have a crew inside a spaceship. So it was funny because FTL came out right after I started designing this game. I'm like, but then when I saw they didn't do some of the other things I did, I'm like, oh, okay, that was a close one. But in my game, just like FTL, you can move your crew members around. So right now I have them set up on these little tokens here, our ray guns.
Hi.
So there's there's a little ray gun right here.
We're looking at a brand new board game that hasn't even released yet.
Oh, hey, Dime. Yeah, our first guest. Nice.
It's very exclusive content here at twitch.tv.
Yeah, this is a very early look. I mean, other people have played it at gaming conventions. And I have a Board Game Geek is a very big website for board games. And so I've had pictures and descriptions and things up there. But really, I've been play testing a while. So maybe... I don't know, it's been play tested about 100 times, 150 times. So, but some of them have been with the same people. But you guys are still, you're still a very small group. There's not that many people that have actually gotten a chance to play around with this.
DCT says it looks rad.
Ah, thank you, right? DCT.
Honestly,
TX. That's a TX. DCT _X95.
We just call him DCT.
How about X95? That sounds like a Star Wars spaceship.
You sound like an X-Man.
Yeah.
Honestly, just from what you've told us so far and the look of it and the cards and everything, I actually, it crossed my mind. I was like, I'm going to buy this.
Well, I hope you do. I hope everybody out there does. Well, thank you, Sean. I've been working really hard on this, but I've also been working with IDW Games. They've been doing a great job as a publisher. What the publisher does is, once I've created a prototype, they're the ones that do what's called development. And so there's a slight difference between video games and board games in the fact that the developer is somebody that very specifically is hired not to make necessarily creative content, but to make sure that everything plays well. So they're kind of like testers, but they're testers that can make really good suggestions to help improve the gameplay. So sometimes the testers just say, just tell me what's broken, right, in a video game. But developers, it's encouraged for them to all right, you're going to help me make this game better. Give me your feedback. Give me your input. And usually a lot of developers are guys that have designed their own games, and then they've said, okay, well, I like helping other people out, so I'm going to help do this. So I'm working with a couple of really cool guys, including a fellow named Ian Zhang, who, hi Ian, I'm giving you a little shout out, and he's been doing a great job helping me develop this game.
So that's good. So what it sounds like is like by doing this, by developing and everything, it's actually a pretty close-knit circle. You make a lot of good connections and a lot of good friends, it seems like.
So this is the amazing thing about the board gaming industry, and that is this. It is possibly the friendliest industry I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I've worked in video games for a long time, and it was very common practice for people to have to fill out non-disclosure agreements, NDAs. When I got into the board game industry and started talking to people, I said, do I need to sign an NDA for anything? And they're like, no. If you do that, that's considered an amateur move. That, like, people don't sign NDAs. Everybody just kind of trusts each other, and they're very friendly. It's a small knit community, and so the word gets around very fast. But also, everybody has like a million game ideas that they're already working on, and it behooves nobody to steal an idea. So, for example, if somebody came to me and said, hey, will you look at my game? I'd be like, yeah, I'd be happy to. A, I can help you and give you good feedback, and B, you don't have to worry because I've got about 15 game designs that I'm already working on. I don't have time for yours. So it's this very interesting community that is growing. I mean, it's been around for a long time. Board games as an industry have been around since easily the 40s or 50s. Companies like Milton Bradley and Parker Brothers. I mean, these guys have even those companies have even been around like from the 20s. Yeah. But the modern board gaming industry is an amazingly friendly industry.
Why do you think there's that delineation in video game? I mean, is it just because there's so much more money at stake in video game industry?
I think that's part of it. And my other gut feeling is that the board game industry comes from the toy industry. And the toy industry is also super secret, maybe even more so than the video game industry. And I think a lot of people kind of fled from the toy part of it and kind of went, you know what, we don't want to do what the toy industry does. We don't need to be that crazy about things. Let's be just a lot more chill. And so I think that attitude is, and plus the people that the board gaming industry attracts, they're very creative, they're very intellectual. I think that they just kind of don't have the patience for some of the monkey business. Yeah. So it's really refreshing. It's been it was definitely one of the most surprising things for me when I started to put myself forward as a tabletop game designer.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. That sounds very nice.
Yeah. So let's try playing a round of this. How does it start?
All right. So we programmed in our cards, and that's going to help us move our ships around. But remember, the other thing I didn't get to tell you was that we put our crew in the ship, there's different functions on the ship. We have these right here, these ray guns, so the titular ray guns of Rayguns and Rocketships, and those are they can shoot by themselves like a robot gun, but they don't shoot very well. Just think of them as like kind of like a cranky old digital camera. So you know how like sometimes they focus and they unfocus and focus and unfocus. So these guns are kind of like that. So when you're rolling to shoot, not only do they have kind of poor range, they can only shoot a distance of 2, but they also only hit on a 7 or 8. So I would have missed, right? I shot, boo, off it goes. However, if you put a crew member on the ray gun, it now increases the range by 1 because now you've got an actual sentient being aiming the cannon, but it also increases your odds to 5 through 8. So, hey, I hit, good shot. Now what happens if I hit? I have 2 choices. Before I fire the shot, I could either say, I'm shooting for your ship, Gina, or I'm shooting for your ray gun. Now, let's say I shoot for your ship. If I hit your ship, I take a blast token and I place it anywhere I want on the ship that doesn't have a guy or doesn't have a token. So, for example, here's an engine that you have open.
Oh, my goodness.
I just blocked off your engine. Now, that doesn't mean it's completely destroyed.
Okay, good.
Actually, the crew can do things to put out fires, and we'll talk about that in a second. But the other thing is if I shoot for your gun, then you have a choice to make. Your choice is, do I lose a ray gun if it's by itself? Or if there's a guy on it, do I lose the ray gun or do I lose the guy?
This game is... We've only just started and it's so intense. There's so many consequences. I love it.
So Gina, what do you want? So the reason why you might want to lose a ray gun is that there's actually a hatch here. It's kind of like the trunk of your ship. And if you go into the hatch and spend an action point, now action points come from your cards. So you'll notice at the bottom of the card, there are 2 little action points here. And they represent these tokens right here. So these tokens are very powerful. They allow you to do a ton of things in the game that are all crew related. They don't do anything for the rocket ships. The rocket ships kind of, you program them in. They're meant to be big and slow, kind of like submarines or big pirate galleons or things like that, right? So I want the ships to feel kind of slow and powerful as they shoot at each other. And then the crew is like running around like crazy people trying to get stuff done, right? So as you take your turn, so let's just, for example, flip over our card. just for a second.
I haven't done it. I have not-
well, here, let's just do this.
Well, no, because I wasn't sure.
That's okay. I'll program in some cards for you. Don't worry.
Well,
I'll make sure you don't lose too much.
I have.
Well, where do you start?
So you start by doing this. Put them in front
But
of you.
I'm saying, where does this start?
So we start on our respective planets. So you start on Zardia, which is the home planet
so
of the
then
Zard.
when it says forward, it moves rocket forward
Right.
one star.
So let's
node.
flip. So we flip our
Over
cards.
here.
Yeah, we flip our cards.
That's my question. Do we flip over any
No,
or any
just the
order?
first one. Just the first,
well,
left to right. Yeah, so
left to right.
Yeah, so
Okay,
you have to
great.
plan ahead. So you have to actually plan 3 moves in ahead what you're going to
I
do.
really
And
like
you
this
can't
game.
change
I
that.
really
You can't
do.
change it, no, unless you have a special ability. There's only right now one character in the game that has a special ability to do that. She's a scientist, but we're actually not going to look at her tonight because she's super secret and part of the Kickstarter.
There you
She's
go.
a stretch goal.
There's your incentive.
Okay, and so then
All right,
this,
so
do I
these-
program this one as
No,
well?
no, you just set these aside,
Okay.
and you're not going to use them for now.
Okay.
So
I was
these-
asking about the ones with the little star cards on them.
Yeah. Well, you could program in a star card if you want. So here, let's do that. Let's put in 1 star card just so you have it here.
They're on the
Which
side.
one? Which one did you want to use?
Oh,
Just pick
tail whip.
All right, tail whip.
I'm a lizard slap somebody.
There you go. So lizard slap that face down.
Like here.
Yep, right there, and then put the rest of these here. Now, normally you wouldn't tell us, obviously, what you're going to do,
Oh.
but that's okay. We're showing off.
I didn't tail.
You didn't tell. You didn't tail anybody.
I didn't tell.
Ah.
I didn't tail no one.
Hey, look at it! I got a fellow dad joke.
All right. So
I'm in the middle.
here's the. So what we also have to do is determine who goes first.
Yeah.
So in the game right now we have this kind of chintzy little token, but in the final game it's actually going to be this cool little die cut gun, kind of like you
Oh.
guys know Dead of Winter that has like this cool little knife. It's going to be like that.
Oh.
Anyway, just imagine it's going to be cooler and look
Okay.
like a little gun. All right.
Ready.
So what we're gonna do? Let's roll the dice. 1, 2, 3. All of us roll 1 die and see who gets
Does
highest.
it matter who has a black one?
Doesn't matter right now. We'll
That's
talk
fine.
about the black one in a
Oh,
minute.
then I should roll right.
All right. Here we
Okay.
go. 1, 2, 3. Roll. All right.
Oh,
I got a 7.
I
failed.
7.
Son of a-
Yay. All right. So what I'm gonna grab the first player token, and what we're gonna do is this. So
I think we each keep one. Though.
No, not now. No, well, we share the dice actually.
Oh, okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're all gonna flip our first card. So flip your first card. All right. So because I'm the first player, I get to execute my moves first, but I don't get to keep this advantage very long, which is a good thing. Don't worry. You'll want to have a. Sometimes it's important to have the first player advantage. Sometimes it's important to not have the first player advantage. Depends on what's going on in the game.
Right.
So what I'm gonna do at the bottom of the card, there's these action tokens. I'm gonna collect 2 action tokens because it has 2 at the bottom.
I'm moving forward 1 spot.
And how many action tokens
We're all
do you get,
moving
Gina?
forward 1 spot, and I get 2
You
action
get 2.
tokens.
And Sean, how many do you get? You
2.
get 2. Now here's the thing. We also have this special big card. Do you see this big card here?
Yes, I see him.
This is our captain card. So you have one, I have one,
Oh,
and
yes,
Sean
mine's
has
right
one.
here.
And if you notice, if you flip it over, it's 2-sided. There's
Okay.
2 different versions of the captain. So before you did, set up everything, you'd say, which version of Master Brain do I want to use? Do I want to use the one that has mind control abilities and pants that makes them run faster? Or do I want to use the one that allows me to move a crew for free and use my tentacles to like flail around and kill people?
I'm gonna be saying this the entire show. I love this game. I'm gonna buy it as soon as it's out. I love this.
Excellent. So you have, I think one of these is like really fast, and he can eat his own guys if he wants extra points. And then the other side is he's attacks with his tail, and he can also regenerate that tail like a lizard. And then I think yours, one side is good pilot, and the other side is good shooter.
Astro Ranger Captain.
Yep.
Oh, it's the same.
Yeah.
thing.
So it's different abilities.
Ace pilot and crack shot.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. That's a good one. All right, so go
Change
ahead
the
and flip
abilities,
it
but
to
not
the
the title.
side that
Okay.
you want. So I'm going to flip it over here, and you flip yours. So we're going to keep this face up the whole game. This is the version of the character we're going to be playing with. So
Yeah.
essentially, you can play this game, and of course the Star Pirates have their own. That you could play this game 8 times and never have the same experience.
Wow.
All right. So how many times do you play a board game 8 times?
Yeah.
Not unless you're like a super Scrabble freak or something like
Yeah.
that, right? So I try to. There's a lot of other things too that will give you more reasons to play the game, but this is just one of them. So the other thing you'll notice at the bottom of your captain card is there's an ability called Captain, and it says as long as there is one friendly crew member in play, the Master Brain or any captain gets 1 action token at the start of the turn. So instead of taking 2, I take 3. Now, how about you guys? Do you
I
have
take
any crew
1.
member? Yeah, you take 1. How about you? Do you take 1?
Crew member for.
Yeah, friendly crew members,
Friendly
right?
crew
Yeah,
members,
there's some friendly
So
crew
I get-
members.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we all get an extra one because we have a captain.
I
Because
see.
the captain needs to boss people around.
Right.
True.
All right. So now we have these 3 action tokens, but we're going to hang on to these because they don't quite come into play yet. So what we do first is there's 3 phases of gameplay in the game. The first is the rocket ship movement phase.
Right.
The second is the rocket ship shooting phase.
Yes.
And the third is the crew movement action and attacks phase. So essentially think of it this way. Everybody's going to move in position. Everybody's going to shoot the heck out of each other. And then the crew's going to run around like crazy dealing with the consequences and trying to fight each other and things like that.
Okay.
So me being the Zard, the Blarg, I've got this saucer right here. So I am going to go forward, and this says move my forward one space. My saucer one space. So I move forward these little star nodes here. And there's a nice little thing that I help build into the base here to give you kind of like to help you remember where things are. So there's like a little V that looks like Pac-Man. This kind of helps you figure out what the facing is. So if you have a saucer, for example, you're like, where's the front? All right, look for the V. And then there's also an X built into the base, and we'll talk about what the X is for in a second.
Oh, well, the X? Wow, okay.
So we'll talk about what the X is for next. Yeah. But the other thing is this. If I had a crew member on my engine of my ship, I could move my ship forward after I execute my movement, one more, or if I had them on 2 engines, 2 more spaces. So I get additional engine power if I put the crew on the engines.
So before we started the play, should we have set our ship up?
Yeah. So you want to think ahead of like.
And I don't really have a blown out engine.
Do
I? I don't.
Not yet, anyway.
Okay,
you don't. No, we haven't gone there yet. So if you wanted to, you could maneuver crews around and go, well, what do I want? Do I want more guys on my gun? Do I want a guy in my hatch? Do I want a guy in my cockpit or my control panel? The control panel and the cockpit have certain abilities, most of which are activated by the cards. The engines you use during the movement phase, and then the guns, of course, you use during the shooting phase.
What is these?
So these are the ports where you put guns. So, for example, there are certain maps of the rocket ship that actually have more spots than there are guns. So you start with 6 guns, but there's one of them that one of the pirate ships, I don't have it out right now, it has a gun in the front, which the other ships don't have. So you could instead say, I'm going to put that gun in the front with a dude on it, and I might have a few less guns on the sides, and so I'm going to sacrifice that for now. Now, the reason why it matters what side the guns are on, is facing matters. So kind of like, when pirate ships line up against each other and they do broadsides, these guns are the same way. They fire in a battery, so they only fire once a phase, boom, or zap, really, and then they need to recharge. They're, like I said, the technology is a little cranky. It's supposed to take place around 1936, so there's no like hi-fi electronics, there's no shields, there's no teleporters. It's not Star Trek. It's not little green men in UFOs. It's like Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers and things like that, right? So these ships are like, they have personality. They're kind of cranky. They're a little bit like the Millennium Falcon in the way that they work. Sometimes they work great. Oh, hey, this is X95. This is for 2 to 4 players. He asked, or she asked, how many players is this game for? So yeah, it's for 2 to 4 players.
DCT a dude.
Yeah, exactly.
we know DCT.
No, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
DCT, you cool. All right.
So I should set my ship up now?
Well, yeah, we would do that before we started playing, right?
Then,
so put all your guys where you want them to go.
And then that was my other question. Is like, okay, so obviously there's a lot going on here. So it's like, okay, we roll, we move, we shoot, we fight, and then after we fight, is that when we can rearrange?
So what we do is the first player token moves to the next player clockwise, and then we reset, then we flip the next card. So we've programmed in 3 of these cards, right? So we're going to go back and forth, but then Gina's going to have the advantage on the next turn, and then you're going to have the advantage on the 3rd card. At the end of playing these 3 cards, we pick them back up, and if they don't have a star in the corner, we put them back in our hand, and we're going to reprogram again. So you can get more use out of them. It's not like they go away or anything like that. But the ones with the stars in the corner, they're worth a victory point if you discard them. So if you use them and discard them. So if you get to pull off one of your cool maneuvers, you're like, haha, I was extra smart. I get a point for being extra smart. So you set that aside, and at the end of the game, so the one thing that I don't have in this prototype is a victory track. There's actually another board that we're going to keep track of our victory points. And when we hit a predetermined number of victory points, so usually an average game is anywhere from 12 to 16 points. When we hit that total, then we're going to do one more round. Everybody gets another chance to kind of do their stuff, and then we tally up the points, and whoever has the most points wins the game.
Oh, cool.
And you get victory points by discarding cards. You get them by blowing up a ray gun. So when I said you could blow up a ray gun, if you get a ray gun, that's worth 1 point. If you kill a crew member, that's worth 1 point. These guys are super weak. They're very flexible, but they only have 1 hit point apiece, so they die very easily.
Oh, wow.
The captain, however, you notice there's 3 little blasts and a skull,
Right.
right? They have 3 hit points. They're
Okay.
also worth 3 points in the game, so they're higher value targets, but they're also harder to kill, and they have all these super abilities. Then the ships themselves, if you blow up a ship, it's worth 3 points. Anybody who doesn't get out of the ship in time. They're also worth points, so you can blow up a ship and kill a bunch of guys. And then there's also extra tokens that are included that I don't have all of them out. But for example, this is the secret data tapes, and they may or may not carry the plans for a planet-destroying weapon. Who knows? But if you capture those data tapes by sending a guy into outer space and grabbing him, you then get an extra 5 victory points. So you add. So essentially, this is like the flag in Capture the Flag. So if you hang on to this, if I have this on my ship or in my character's possession, essentially, at the end of the game, then when we hit that target and we do our last round, then I get those 5 points. But if Gina wants to get over and try and take this away from me, you're welcome to try.
I was about to ask that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I did have one question, though. You said these guys have 1 hit point. Does that
all
go for
all the crew except for the captains. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so they're all. It's a very democratic world here in Rayguns and Rocketships. Everybody only has 1 hit point.
Everybody
Don't
gets
say anything, DCT. I haven't seen Rogue One.
I
will find
I
you.
haven't seen it either.
I have a certain set of skills.
Yeah, well, there's a little bit of.
She
It
has
would be
them, too.
fair to say there's a little bit of Star Wars influence in Rayguns and Rocketships. Matter of fact, the story behind it, Westward, it is a 90-minute long game. That's about the average game, 90 minutes long. So when I was designing this game, so originally this game idea started as a video game idea. And I was like, oh man, I would really love to do this game where you are fighting and you're like flying a spaceship and you're running around doing stuff, and then you could jump out of the spaceship. So you can do this in this game. You can get on the airlock, and then you can go into outer space and fight in outer space, and then you can fight your way into the other guy's ship and fight them on their own ship. That's the video game I wanted to make. However, when I was pitched this idea, everybody was like, well, we love the idea, but we just don't have the resources or the, I was working for a publisher at the time. So it's a little harder to get games made when you're at a publisher than it is when you're a developer.
Right.
And so I was like, well, I don't have a team. I don't have the money to make a video game because, as you guys know, video games can be very expensive to make. And so I was like, well, how can I make this real, make this a thing without all this extra expense? And I thought, well, I grew up playing board games. I love board games. It's kind of my first love when it comes to like games, and I played a ton of them when I was a kid. I worked in a game shop when I was in high school, so I've grown up with board games. And so I thought to myself, I'm like, hey, you know what? Why don't I make this a board game? I could at least have it exist, and at the very least, I could use it to show people what I'm talking about if we make a video game out of it.
There you go.
But in the end, people were having so much fun playing it as a board game. I'm like, you know what? Let's just try and make it as a board game instead. Make it a real thing.
Cool.
I honestly prefer it this way than a video game, really, because this seems more interactive with people. On
Yeah,
video game,
yeah.
It's all just...
Well, yeah, I mean, the other reason is I worked in video games for a long time, and I always used to say that I've worked on some amazing games, but when the power goes out, they were just like the nicest coasters ever.
Yeah.
Right? So I was always a little depressed by that like if the system went out of date, or even the power, if we don't use AC power anymore, you're never going to be able to play these games again. Of course, you can emulate them, right? We know we can do that, but there's a tactility to board games that I love. I love toys, and I really love the toyetic nature of board games, and it's it's just fun to move a little guy around, and the feel of rolling a nice handful of dice is very, very satisfying, and getting it out there, and of course, like you said, the social aspect. That's the other reason I think why the board game industry is so friendly, is that if everybody was being mean to each other, they'd have nobody to play with.
Exactly.
Right? So it behooves everybody to play nice with each other.
It works your imagination too. Video games, it's all for you. This, it's like you visualize it.
Yeah, and that's part of the fun, really. This is a universe that I've had in my head for a long time, and I wanted to get out. But I also am really looking forward to seeing other people get excited about it. Matter of fact, there was a guy who texted me on Facebook today, and he said, do you mind if I draw like art of your characters? And I'm like, please do. You'd be like the first person to draw. I'm like, I'm the only person that has drawn. Well, that's not true. The guys that painted the card art, also, they did an amazing job. And I wish I had the real card art to show you, because this is hacked together art. This is like programmer art.
It's still I thought it was finished. This is good.
If you go onto the idwgames.com website, and they've been running previews all week for the game, there's like painted art, card art on there. The people that did that, I wish, well, actually, the guy's name is, I'm blanking, I feel so bad, I don't remember. Ron Salas is the artist. Ron painted like these gorgeous, like they look like covers of 1930s pulp sci-fi magazines, which is what they're supposed to. Oh yeah, by the way. So this is actually painted by somebody else. This is my friend Chris did this. And this is really, I think, my secret weapon for selling this game was my friend Chris is this super talented concept artist. He does video game art. And I asked him, hey, can you please paint me a cover? And he just made my world come to life. And I am forever grateful to Chris. Thank you, Chris, for painting this cover for me. But Ron, who is the card artist, he has also done amazing card art. And you just have to see it. It's beautiful. It's bright. It's all these little characters come to life. And it just is so exciting.
I want this game.
Well, let's play around.
All right. So we flipped over our card.
Yes.
So we're going to move our ship. So I am moving my saucer. Yep, there you go. Everybody happy with where they are?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to put my guy right here.
What does the hatch do in the control panel?
Okay. So the hatch is like the trunk of your spaceship. And if you ever have a gun blown up, or if you ever want another star card to put into your hand to get ready for the next round of programming cards, you can kind of rifle through it. But you have to spend an action point to kind of open the door up, and then you got to roll a die. And it's like, if you fail, you're like, oh man, I just found luggage. But if I get a success, hey, I found a spare gun. Let's put it in that port where the gun had been blown up. Or let's take a star card and put it in our hand so we have more ammo to get ready to fight with as we get ready, moving into the next 3 rounds.
And then the control panel, I don't know.
Control panel is
a lot.
Control panel has a couple of really cool functions. Mostly they're related to star cards, but it has another function that if you're on the control panel and you spend an action point, and let's say all your little guys are in the airlock, it essentially, it blasts them all into space. I was
joking.
And no, they for one action point, they blast into space, and then they end up in space where you, so for example, if I want to get that data tape, I'm putting my little guys, I got to send them out there and go get them to move,
you have to spend an action point.
No, actually you don't, because they are guys, right? You don't have to spend action to move. So they have an innate ability to move and to do an attack. So the movement is 2, so they can go 1, 2 just by themselves because they have jetpacks on. Or if we're next to a guy and we're going to fight, and there's 2 different ways to fight. We'll talk about that in a second. I can get a free attack. But if I want them to do more, then I have to spend an action point. Let's say your guy's over here and I want to get my guy over to him. I would have to spend an action point to then move him 1, 2, and then 3, 4 to get over to him.
Oh, okay.
Right? And I can do this as long as I have action points. I can keep spending them to do. So you can do these really big heroic maneuvers. The last game that I play tested, a guy started on the airlock. He jumped out of the airlock. He ran across outer space. He cut his way into the other guy's ship. He ran into the other guy's ship and started fighting and ended up killing 2 guys as he fought his way through the ship.
I was already planning on doing that.
I've revealed your strategy, Sean. So I mean, the game is meant to be like these big. It's once again, it's like Flash Gordon or Star Wars. These big heroic action maneuvers like Luke Skywalker kind of rushing in and attacking, or Flash Gordon fighting off Ming, or things like that, right? So hey, what's up? Well, how do you pronounce it?
Alpha male.
Oh, okay. Raw alpha male. Wow, that's
very manly.
Yeah, super manly. Hi guys. Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you, Raw alpha male.
They love your art.
Oh, they love the art. Well, he did a great job. Who has not played Zork before? Because I have played some Zork, my friend Westward. All right. Anyway, you haven't played Zork? You didn't get the Zork reference? All right. Anyway, okay. So I've moved my ship forward. So here, your guy is back here on your gun, right? Where you had him?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, on the engine. Okay. So Gina, I moved my ship. It's your turn to move your ship. You're going to move. What does it say on the card?
I move forward 1 star node, but I've got 1 guy on each engine.
Yeah.
So then I get 2 extra moves.
Yeah. So first you move forward 1 because that's what the card says. And then
what's
you may,
the objective? To kill you or to get this?
Well,
it's points.
It's points, right? So you want to get as many points. Now be careful, because those asteroids that are out there, if you smack into them, you'll take damage.
But do they move?
No, they don't move.
Okay,
you
so
have
I
to
can
move
go
around.
here.
Yeah, you can go there, right?
Okay,
so you could go up to 3 if you want, right? You got 1 for your card.
Yeah.
And then you may move up to 2 more because you have guys on your engines. So 1.
Boop.
No, you move forward.
Oh, I can't move laterally.
Yeah, no, you're going to have to program that in to move around them.
I see.
Right? It's strategy.
I understand better now.
So if the base touches it, you just have to be on that star.
Yeah, you just have to collide with that actual spot, right?
Okay.
Right.
So I'm choosing to stay there.
All right, good move. And Sean, it's your turn. What are you going to do?
Let's see, what do I want to do first? If I move it, then I can deal with this too.
Well, we get to the crew eventually. Yeah.
Okay.
So
first
we're just worried
about
just
the ship.
Just the ship.
I wanted to blast
Thank you,
him out of the
Alpha Male. I'm happy to be back.
Right? She just came back.
You've got to find me on Instagram, because that's where I posted all my crazy Norway stuff.
Oh yeah.
It looks like a lot of
salted
fun stuff,
licorice.
too.
No, eating so much Nutella and fish.
Oh, a lot of fish.
Not together. That'd be disgusting.
All right, Sean. So move your ship
Okay,
forward.
So one space. All right.
One
so
space. But
one
you
space.
have guys on your engine,
I got one guy.
so you can move forward one more.
One more.
All right. So now we're in the ship shooting phase. So what we do, the way to determine range in the game is I wanted to make it pretty easy because I've played a lot of games like Warhammer and HeroClix and stuff like that, and it's always hard to determine where people are at in that game. So I made that little X on the base, and the X essentially is a 90-degree arc that designates the range in which the guns can shoot. So for example,
Okay.
Gina, you have this side. So here's the front of your ship, right? Is the
Yeah.
front right there.
Yeah.
So these guns are going to be facing Sean this way.
This is really the only one that's in his range.
Oh, no. It's all three of them. They fire in a battery. So
yeah,
they're all
but
valid.
because of his angle.
No. It's an arc. So
It's like-
anything within that arc is valid.
That,
so
that's
let's...
the turret
Oh, so like
rotation
this
range.
is what you
Yeah,
mean.
yeah. So for
Oh.
example, because you have got... Okay, so if it was just the robot gun, if I were here, or if I were here, or if I were here, or if I were even here, actually here, I would be in range of your robot gun. But if you have range guys on your gun, man gun, I could be in target here, here, here. So it's actually, the targeting gets bigger the further out. So what you want to try and do is keep a little distance, but get all your guys on the gun, so then you can start blasting away.
Oh, I'm
Now-
already in trouble.
Now the thing is this, is that because these guns fire in a battery all at once, they can only shoot at one target. So if I were here, let's say for example, and Sean were there, you'd have to pick which one you want to shoot at.
I see.
However, it's because the facing matters. If I were there and Sean was there, you could shoot at both of us.
And I will.
Yes, but I'm back here, so
Yeah,
I'm
you are.
actually safely out of range. So I can't shoot, so I have to pass on my shooting phase. So Gina, it's your turn to shoot.
Okay.
So now the asteroid is going to block shots, but he's still within range. So if Sean were here, he could have hidden behind the asteroids, but
Okay.
he's not. He's not pulling a Han Solo.
Ah.
Instead, he's out here. So what you're going to
Gotta
do...
make the Kessel run.
The reason why, remember you were asking about the black die? The black die is my very helpful little tool for people in this game. So right now you have 2 manned guns and 1 unmanned. So what you're going to do is say, all right, the black
Oh,
is
I
going to be
see.
the unmanned,
I get it.
and the reds are the manned. So the
Okay.
black hits on a 7 or 8, and the reds hit on a 5 through 8. All right.
You
So
didn't get nothing.
no, you got one.
I got one.
One hit, 6. So you can put a blast token on Sean's ship anywhere there isn't a guy or a token. So you can put it on his engine, you can put it on the hatch.
Yeah, I am.
There you go. So if he wanted to get more juice out of it, he's out of luck. Until he puts out that fire, and the way you put out a fire is to move your crew member over and spend an action point, and then it will remove the blast token.
Okay.
Now the other thing is, if your captain gets hit, instead of him, because he has 3 health, you put a blast token on him. And if a crew member is adjacent to a captain who's wounded, and you spend that action token, you can actually remove the blast token from him and heal him. And the reason why you want to do that is if you cover up this ability, he loses the ability.
Oh, so
So you can get abilities back by having them get healed back up.
I see.
Now you have a secret power, Gina. What does your regenerating tail allow you to do?
Once per game, I can spend 3 action points and remove a wound.
Yeah, so that way you can do, like if you don't have a crew member next to you, you can spend a lot of action tokens, but essentially you get your tail
So
back.
theoretically, if I were to have also drawn Tail Whip for my star card, does this, this is covered?
So this is for him. This
Oh,
is
this
for
for
everybody.
these- everybody
else
else.
gets this,
Okay.
right?
Okay, so
Okay, so Gina shot at you.
I did.
And that's her face. So now it's your turn to shoot. Now the question is, Sean, do you have any guns facing forward?
no.
Sucker!
So you're out of luck.
What if I just decided kinda like,
You would have had to program that into your cards, right?
Yeah.
All right. So that's the shooting phase. So now we're on the crew movement phase. So I can choose to move my guys around. Remember, I can move up to 2 just as a normal function, right? So I'm gonna move this guy here off the airlock, and I'm gonna put him on the engine so I can get a little more engine power to move things forward. And I'm also gonna move this guy here because I want to get onto it's the cockpit. I want to get on the control panel because I actually have an idea of what I want to do. I have some strategy going on.
Can they move multiple spaces within the ship?
Yeah, they can move anywhere in the ship as long as there's not this black. The black X is blocking terrain.
But like
they can
can
move
all the way
diagonally.
up
No.
Yeah,
That's
that's what I meant.
2 spots. So
Yeah, so 2 spots
So if
on
you
the
wanted
ship
to
too.
move this dude 1, 2, but if you wanted him to keep going, you have to spend an action token.
Got it.
Right. So they're fast, but not super fast.
And you can move as many of them as you want, just 2 spaces.
Yeah, everyone moves once 2 spaces, and then you can spend action tokens to give them another bump to give them more distance.
Okay.
Okay,
cool.
so I move my guys. So Gina, do you have anybody you want to move? Because usually on the first turn, everybody's usually like, I'm pretty cool with.
Yeah, I'm pretty much good.
All right, Sean.
I want to launch this guy out into space.
Okay, so the way you do that is
Rude.
if you have a guy on the control panel, you can spend an action point, or if there's nobody on the on the control panel, you can still spend an action point, but it becomes 1 point per guy. So essentially, it's like the guy opening the big submarine door and like launching himself out into space. So if it's more cost effective to launch more guys out at once than it is to do them one at a time.
Right. Okay, I see.
So you might want to wait until you have more guys on airlock.
But if he's on the control panel,
it just costs 1.
but it still costs something.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So right now you're spending the same action point either way.
Right.
But if you want to get multiple guys into space, you might want to wait.
I'll hold off.
Right.
On it for
Okay.
now then. Yeah.
All right. So
And then-
go ahead, Sean.
No, never mind. Go on,
Okay.
go on.
So now we're done with all 3 of the phases.
Yes.
So now what I do is I pass the first player token to Gina. So she is now first player. So now what we do is we take this second card and we flip it.
Ba-ding.
All right. So now Gina, you are first. So you take your well. Let me get a few more action tokens here because we're already running out. They're going to come with a whole bunch of these things, so don't worry. And actually, we're hoping. Well, one of the stretch goals is to make these plastic pieces rather than cardboard.
Yes, Westward. I love that
yeah,
movie.
absolutely, yeah, of course.
So,
Ack, Westward.
so I get one action
So you get
point.
1 for the ship, the
And then
command,
1 for my
and
captain.
1 for your captain.
Uh,
Sean, did you flip over yours?
Yes, I flipped over mine.
You get 1 and 1.
Yep.
So you get 2. Now these, and I get 1, and I get 1 as well for my captain. So these action points remain right now until we hit this third card and finish all our turns. So if we clear out these cards, we're also going to lose these action tokens. So we have to use it's better to use them, otherwise you're going to lose them.
As soon as I flip my third one,
Well, not as soon as as soon as we do the action phase for
see.
our crew members, right? So you got to plan ahead and go, all right, I'm going to do a maneuver that's going to move my guy, and how many action points do I need to spend? Or maybe I have some card that allows me to do something, or maybe my captain ability might allow me to do something. So once again, it's this game of building up resources, kind of strategizing and thinking about, all right, what are my choices? What are my options that I have to do? And what's my game plan? And then I'm like, all right, let's make sure I've got enough ammo, enough actions to pull off these maneuvers. All right?
Got it.
All right.
I got a little lost somewhere down the line. We'll just
you
keep
can,
going.
You can watch the video over again.
But DCT, the reason why his
I
ship
should
looks
have
different
moved
is
my
because they're all different races. So he's got the saucer. Gina's got a little razor rocket.
Yeah, she's got the Zard rocket, and then you've got the Astro Rangers. And then the other one that we don't have is the Star Pirates, and they have a ship that has actually more cannons on it. But I don't have that map out right now. So yeah, there's the ships are supposed to have different personalities to them. The Astro Ranger ship is all about being fast. The Zards they allow you to do things to kind of get out into the action a little faster. My saucer actually has a special ability that your guys' ships don't have, which is you'll notice that it's circular, but the gun, there's a belly turret in the middle. And I have actually 1 less gun than you guys do because of this gun. This gun actually allows me to shoot 360 degrees. So I can shoot in any direction. I can fly around. So if I were here and I had, both Sean and Gina in range, I could say, all right, my battery of guns is going to shoot at Sean, but my belly gun is going to shoot at Gina.
Cool.
Right, so I can do all types of crazy maneuvering with the ship. So like I said, the factions have very strong personalities. The Zard are close combat, the Astro Rangers are fast, the Star Pirates are shooty, and the Blarg they have kind of like wild card abilities. So the Blarg is actually a little bit more of an advanced character to play, but everybody loves them so much that I was like, oh, I got to keep them in the game, right? So I don't want to just water it down.
I honestly love that you gave me the Astro Rangers because 1, red's my favorite color,
Yeah.
and 2, I always play speed characters.
Oh, there you go. It's all. And Gina, you're associated with lizards in some way.
I just love animals.
Oh, okay, that's good. And me,
But I also love pirates, so
there you
I
go.
would have been happy with
either
either
pirates.
of
All
them.
right. So Gina, you've moved. Did you move your ship yet?
I have not.
Okay.
So I can move. Now, do you have to move?
You have to do what's on the card.
Okay, but you don't have to take anything extra.
No, nothing extra. Yeah.
Beep.
So it says
Move forward. Oh, 2 then.
2. Yeah.
Now, is it forward or it's just...
Forward, yeah, always
Okay,
forward.
boop, boop.
So if you want to rotate around, you have to play a card to rotate
Okay.
your ship around, right?
Got it.
All right, so Sean, it's your turn to move your ship.
Okay. 2 star nodes.
Yeah.
And so
All right, so if you collide with something, essentially it just gets shifted out of the way.
Oh, what? I thought I got it.
Now, you're essentially right next to it.
Yeah.
So the other thing is that the ships are really meant to be really big, and the people are meant to be very tiny. And little guys can't hurt the big ships, and big ships can't shoot at the little guys because they're really hard to shoot at and target.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get a guy out into space, he essentially is safe from getting shot from the ray guns. But if there are crew members outside, then they can fight. And
okay.
And once we get in that situation, we'll talk about that.
I see.
All right, so I'm going to move my saucer forward one space, and I have a guy on my engine, so I'm actually going to go 1, 2 to go. Hey, Gina, how are you?
I'm great.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Sean, how are you? I've actually got a bunch of guys. I've got both of you in range now. All right, so that was our movement. So now we're shooting. So Gina, you get to shoot first.
Now you are in range.
I
right?
am in range.
Okay,
yeah.
so you go to hell.
Go to
What do I do?
wherever blargs go.
I
Right.
shoot. So
So how many cannons?
it looks like only this cannon, but you're
No,
saying
no,
this
no.
whole
Yeah,
side.
that whole
is.
side, right?
Okay, so I get 2 reds and a black.
Yep. Yeah. So remember, it's a 7 or 8 on the black and a 5 through 8 on the red.
Dang it.
Oh,
I hit you once.
Yeah, you hit me once. So go ahead and put a blast token on my ship somewhere. Now, remember, I said when you shoot, you can call ray guns or the ship itself. So if you want, we can pretend like you were given that opportunity. Do you want to shoot my gun or do you want to shoot my guys or my ship?
Oh, well, but because there's.
Yeah.
Now, is it directional as well? Like,
Yeah, it's directional
I
as
can't
well.
hit this guy.
So if all my guns were blown off of this side, your only option is to shoot at the ship, right?
I would like to shoot at your gun that's pointed directly at me.
All right, you can have that. Nope, don't.
Oh,
you
no,
don't do
this guy.
Nope. Yeah. Actually, yeah. Put that on there.
Wait.
And then this goes. So, like I said, we're gonna have a victory tracker. And so this would normally move you up 1. We have actually these, now these are, once again, these are placeholder, but we have these little faction tokens, and then those would go on your
and then
victory
they move
tracker. Right, so because you're the Zard, I would move yours up 1 point, and, we track as we go. All right, so my guy doesn't die. He's just here being very unhappy. I'm actually going to place him here. Now, actually, we don't place this here because otherwise I wouldn't be able to be in that space.
Oh, okay.
So the gun just goes away,
I see.
and we're good. So unfortunately now I'm waving my tentacles at you going, curse you, Gina, for shooting at my gun.
Yes.
All right, Sean, is there anyone you want to
I'm
shoot
making
at?
lewd and
I think
lascivious
I'm a little
motions.
crooked.
So this is just while Sean is making his play, I wanted to remind you guys that this is a prototype game that we're playing.
Yep. All the art is going to be different. And, well, not all of it. The miniatures will be the same. The characters and the theme and stuff will all be the same. But the art, if you go to idwgames.com, you can see pictures of the boards, pictures of the cards. And believe me, they look way better than just my art here.
And also, this is actually going to launch in a Kickstarter tomorrow, and we'll put a link up down there. Just kind of make sure that you're following along. If you guys want to support this game and support Scott with everything that he's doing with it, because he's put a lot of time in, then make sure that you figure out it's Rayguns and Rocketships.blogspot.com.
Yep, you can go to that site.
And that'll keep you up to date on everything that he's doing.
Yeah, there's all types of fun information, background information on the characters and the world, and even things like what were my inspirations, what movies do I love, and what books and what comics and things like that.
As far as distribution and pricing, you're not going to know that until after the Kickstarter.
Well, when the Kickstarter launches, we'll announce what the price is, but if it's what I think it is, it's a really good price for a game with a lot of miniatures in it, because I know that a lot of these games that have tons of minis in it can be like hundreds of, $100 or more. It's not going to be $100.
Cool.
So that's good. And then, of course, there'll be shipping that you have to pay, but it depends on where you're at. If you're in the U.S., it's cheaper than if you're in Australia or something like that. The distribution, though, the game itself is due to be released in the fall. So it's going to come out into stores, but Kickstarters, we just kind of wanted to see who was really interested in the game and try to get advance interest.
Can you tell us what your Kickstarter tiers are?
Can
you do that yet?
Well, there are stretch goals. I can tell you that, but I don't want to announce what we're offering yet because we want to keep it a little bit of a surprise. We want to have some fun for the people on Kickstarter.
So.
But let me just tell you. I think if I remember at last count, I think we had 12 stretch goal things, so like tiers of stretch goals, and I think that we're even offering an early bird, so if you get on there early you can get the game at a reduced price.
Oh, very cool.
Cool.
Awesome.
I know what I'm doing.
What's your move, buddy?
I am a little torn, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and go for you.
Oh, what I did just because I shot your engine.
All right, so remember, it's any gun that is 2 or more, so it looks like, yep, she's right in range. So you can shoot all 3 of your guns, and remember, it's going to be the guns on that far side, right? Because here's the nose, and then it's this side here.
Well, it would be this side, yeah.
Yeah,
it'd be right
Yeah.
there. So go ahead and roll 3 dice. 2 are robot guns, and 1 is a man gun. You want to get 7 or 8.
So then there's only 1 black dice then, because there's 2 automated
he's
and
on
1.
it. He's on it.
Yeah. The
Okay.
1 die is in there to kind of act as this. It actually works really nicely as this
Yeah.
kind of balancing device. You say, all right, do I use the black one for the manned or the unmanned?
Oh, okay,
and then you
there
use
we
the red
go.
for the other 2.
All right,
Yeah.
that works. Yeah, that solves it all.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I guess I rolled.
Miss.
Yeah, 3 misses.
Miss.
Whatever. That's what I get for
Forcefield. Meow.
what I get for attacking the champion of Norway.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so unfortunately you missed. Now I have both of you in my range.
He's
So
gonna
I am
attack
looking
me.
at Sean here. I'm looking at Gina. You know, Gina,
He's gonna take me down a peg or 2.
Yeah, I gotta shoot you once. So I'm gonna shoot you with my belly turret once. So I'm gonna aim for a ray gun. But now here's the thing. I'm in range. I can hit anything along this side here.
Okay.
So anything here. So I'm gonna roll my belly gun.
Wait. But can't you also shoot him?
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot him the next turn. But I want to do you first.
No. But
There's
I
not even
thought
a
you said
doubt.
that you could shoot at the same time.
Well, this gun though is the crazy gun, right? This you can shoot differently, right? Because it's an individual turret. It doesn't fire in a battery.
So you can't shoot the battery and the belly at the same
Oh,
time.
I could if I wanted to, but I don't. I want to shoot you, and I want to shoot Sean.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So you can't shoot him at the same time as me? You
Oh,
have to
no.
use 2 separate turns?
This is Well, essentially, it's just to make it a little easier to keep track of what's going on.
I see.
Right. So just for sanity's sake.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I say first I'm going to shoot at you, and I'm going to shoot at your gun.
Yes, sucker!
All right. Now I'm going to shoot. I have 2 guns. I have a robot gun. You're both within. Sean, you're within range of both my guns.
Great.
So I'm going to shoot my battery. The front of the ship is here, so it really would be these 2. It would be these 2 guns because they essentially fall into the X, and remember it's that 90-degree arc. So essentially, think of the rocket, the saucer as a pie.
Wait,
The saucer is a little weirder, right? And the actual map, this isn't the final map for it. It will be a lot clearer on the final map.
Okay.
This is the one thing that spatially people sometimes freak out a little bit. They're like,
Yeah.
wait, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. But think of it as the space saucer is a pie, and each of the quadrants is where the guns
well,
can
right,
shoot.
but I'm looking at it, and I don't think.
Well, you
any
blew up
your-
one of my guns.
Yeah, I don't think your guns are pointed at me at all.
Well, let's
Because
see.
that's your back gun, and your back is pointed that way.
Hang on. So realistically, if we were to rotate around, this is where my ship is at. Oh, you're right. I only have 1 gun. No, I have no
You
guns.
made a grave
Yeah,
mistake.
no guns. Yeah, you blew up my gun. All right. Well, Sean escapes with his life this time. But don't worry, I've got plans for you, friend.
Oh dear.
All right, so I'm done with my shooting phase. So now we're on the crew
peoples.
movement. Yeah, so you now can move your guys around. Do you want to reposition them, get them off your engines onto your gun?
Yeah.
Do you want to get them to do some other
So
functions?
they can move all over.
Yeah,
2 spaces.
yeah, 2
1,
spaces.
2,
Yep,
like
and you
that.
can go diagonally. So you really just kind of go 1. You don't even need to go 2.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Great. Excellent. Fantastic. Okay. You guys do you.
No, you got to do you first.
Oh,
that's
you
why
guys-
you're first player.
Oh, I see.
Because if you were to attack us,
what is
you
my
get
dude? I just put him here because I thought it'd be cool to have a captain
Yeah,
in the cockpit.
well,
but
yeah.
what function is he serving? Any function?
Not right now because you're not playing any cards or he doesn't have any special abilities.
Got it.
Now, Sean, you have Ace Pilot, right? What does yours say?
Ace Pilot. As long as Jesse is in the cockpit, the rocket ship can only be hit on the roll of an 8.
Yeah. So we need to keep track of that. So
Yeah.
when I shot at you, you have to make sure that I only roll 8s, right?
I'm so bad at remembering those little.
Yeah, I know.
bonuses.
There's a little bit to keep track of, but I try to.
Little bit.
I tried to minimize it. Well, think of it this way: when you first flip it, you're only thinking about this. Then when you are shooting, you're really only thinking about this stuff here, or maybe an ability on a card. And then when you're moving your guys and fighting, you're really only thinking about this, or if you have a special ability here. So I'm trying to keep you mentally focused on no more than 2 areas at a time. Just because otherwise it would be way too much, right?
1, 2.
There you go. Yeah, 1,
Okay.
2. Yeah. Anything else? She's thinking.
Yes, because I have. Both of you are on my port side.
Yeah, we're right. You could turn around and get us.
But I can't. But I could. But I can't.
You
I
could,
think
but
I'm
you can't.
behind you, actually.
If I were you, I would start moving some of your guys out because
Well, that's
remember
what
your
that's
third
what homie's
ability
doing.
is.
Yeah, that's what homie's
Well,
doing.
get
over
more of
here.
those homies out there. You got a whole bunch of homies.
So I can move him.
Yep, sure.
But I wanted 2 on those guns.
Well, but
'cause that's
everybody's
what's
kind of in
face-
range, right?
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
So there's a mental shift that happens in this game as you play it, and that is you start trying to figure out what is the priority. Is the priority the shooting or the crew? And they each do sometimes symbiotic relationship, but sometimes you have to kind of go,
Yeah.
which do I want to put more emphasis on at this point?
Okay.
Do I want to fight or with my guys, or do I want to fight with my ship? So there's actually this fun moment in the game where moving your ship around becomes less of a priority, and moving your guys around becomes more of a priority.
Okay.
And that's
I'm
very
seeing that
I am
now.
done.
very intentional.
With the limitation of spaces, I can easily see that being a
Because
a
you can
thing.
move through your ship pretty fast, right, to get
Yeah.
from one side to the other. So
So then, are you?
It's you now.
It's me now. Okay. What do I want to do? Okay. So I'm just gonna say words. Okay. So I guess use a PowerPoint and airlock. suppose.
Yeah. So spend a action point, discard
I
it.
think you just put 'em over here.
Yeah, just put it over here. And now what happens when you use the airlock is your guy goes out into outer space adjacent to your ship. So pick up the guy you're shooting out into space
And he's coming
and put
out.
him anywhere you want adjacent to your ship.
Oh,
Adjacent-
anywhere.
It doesn't
oh,
have to
Now
be.
it can't be on the asteroid.
But can be on the data. disk.
Absolutely. It can be. So you're right in the right spot. So now it takes another action point to grab it. So
Ah.
essentially you're reaching out and okay, I
Was
got
I
it.
Still do that this
Yeah,
turn?
you can do it right now.
Yes.
So now he has the data tape. Now,
That
here's the
son of a-
thing. You haven't moved your guy yet
Because you landed on.
because
the
you
data
got
thing.
shot out in outer space as a free action. So now you can still move and attack.
Ooh.
So guess what you can do as a free action?
Board his
Move
ship.
back inside your ship.
And
Or
Or
board
well,
his
if you
ship.
want to board my ship, you have to attack my ship.
Right.
And that requires a roll, a dice roll. And if you get a 5 through 8, you get into my ship. But he's got the data tape. That's worth 5 points.
Oh, right.
It would be better to get that into his ship.
That's
Oh,
what I
I
was going
see.
to ask.
Right.
Do I have to carry it in,
So
or
you
do I
just
get it?
just bring it. You have it. So now you have to get your guy back into the ship.
Okay,
So
that's-
once he
that's
gets
my plan.
once he gets into the ship, you now have this. You have the 5 points. Unless now you want to keep it next to your guy. Actually, normally it goes on the control panel is where it lives because essentially you're plugging it. That's your
Oh,
cockpit.
yep.
In there, so that it gets plugged into your computer.
Cool.
So now, if we want to get this from Sean before the end of the game, we have to get onto his ship and get to that spot and then snatch it away.
Try it,
All right?
suckers.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So,
Challenge
so what else do you want to do? Anything else you want to do?
That was kind of it for the majority. Okay, so that's a question though.
Yes.
I launched him out and then I brought him back in. That
Yeah.
counts as the 2 spaces I can move.
Yeah,
him?
yeah, yeah. That's part
Okay.
of the movement. Yeah.
Cool. And I think that's probably that. Yeah, because nothing else is really in range. All right. Yeah, I think that's it. That's it.
All right.
That's
So
good.
now it's my turn. So now I know that Sean has that. I knew he was going to make a play for that thing, right? I was
Right.
thinking ahead.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I moved. If you remember, I had moved my guy onto my control panel, and I have 2 guys on my airlock. So I'm going to
You're
spend.
sending your captain into outer space.
Heck yeah, because
Wow.
my captain is a murder machine.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to spend an action point, so I put that back here, and I launch my guys out into space anywhere adjacent. Now, the stand on this guy is going to be a little smaller, and the board's going to be a little bigger, so these guys will fit a little better in the final game. But essentially, I'm going to launch my 2 guys into space
Oh, dear.
anywhere adjacent. So now, they haven't moved yet, they haven't attacked yet, right? So I'm going to attack with each of these guys to try to get onto Sean's ship.
I don't like where this is going.
That they both got on.
No, I really don't like
so
it.
now I can put them on any airlock I wish to get in the ship because space is 3-dimensional, so I can go anywhere around. And so I'm going to put them both here. So I still have movements. They just attacked, but I still have a movement. So I'm going to move him here, 1, 2, and I'm going to move this little guy right here.
But doesn't jettisoning them out into space count as one of the moves?
No, it's a free action. It's essentially it's like they're being sucked out of the airlock.
Oh, so I could have moved him. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so you can-
I see now.
All right, so what I'm going to do now is I have extra action points. I'm going to spend them to attack because I had already used up my attack to get into the ship. But now by spending this is essentially recharging those characters. So now they have another attack and another move. So I can move them. If I wanted to, I could keep moving them.
And it's 1 action point per character?
Per
or-
character,
okay.
right. So first I'm going to attack with my captain. And my captain has, well, let's see. Actually, I have mind control. So this is going to let an enemy re-roll 1 dice once per turn. So I can mind control Sean to like make his guy screw up if he rolls badly, right? Or well, or whatever.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to spend this to give my master brain an attack. So I'm going to attack. Now, there's two types of ways to attack in the game with your crew members. You'll notice they have a neuralizer pistol and they have a circuit sword. And circuit swords are like these AI-driven swords that help you fight. They're like smart swords. The neuralizer pistols are just plain old laser guns, right? You could zap with them. But what they do is, if you're next to a character, you have to melee. You have to sword fight them. If you are away from a character, up to 2 spaces away, you have to shoot at them. So if I want to do, say, attack this Astro Ranger, he's out of range. He's 3 away. So if he were 2 away, I could shoot at him. But I could shoot at, let's see, actually only one of your guys is in range. That guy, yep, that guy right there. But if I want to attack the guy on the control panel, I have to do a melee attack. Now, melee attack, so if I was shooting, I would just roll. If I get a 5 through 8, boom, and shoot, and they have 1 hit point, they die. But if Sean wanted to spend an action point, he could spend one to dodge out of the way.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
you have a defensive maneuver to go, oh, hey, you almost shot me, but hey, you didn't shoot me. All right, here it says, what, Gina, just wait for them to tear each other apart. Yeah, exactly. That's a good strategy, right? Westward, you got it. You know how to play this game. Have you played it before?
Yeah.
All right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to melee. Now, melee is sword fighting, and I love sword fighting, and I used to fence, actually. That was one of my hobbies, right? So in sword fighting, so what we're going to do is this. You're defending, I'm attacking. We're both going to roll the die at the same time. 1, 2, 3, roll. Now, 6. All right. So if I had gotten higher than you, I would have done 1 point of damage, and you would have died, right? There's no way to dodge this. But if you had gotten higher, no, you can't. No, that's the danger of the sword fighting, is it's actually more dangerous to sword fight than it is to shoot, right? But if you had rolled higher, then you would have blocked it with your sword. Ha-ha, blocked my attack. However, because we both rolled the same, and I'm really glad we did, we do a move in fencing that is called a riposte. And if you know your fencing, a riposte is where you essentially move the other guy's sword out of the way and go in for an attack. So Sean, he riposted me. His guy's a good fighter. So we now roll, and Sean is the attacker, and I'm the defender. So now take your dice, and 1, 2, 3. He's so excited. 1, 2, 3, roll. We riposted again. So
we are equally good.
So now I'm the attacker. On guard. And I got you for 1 point of damage. Now that guy only has 1 hit point, so I get him. So baha, now I get your guy.
Oh, wow.
So now your control panel is exposed, right? I'm going to spend another action point, and I'm going to grab that data tape.
Oh, goody.
So now my guy still has 2 movement. So what do you think I'm going to do with my captain?
Straight for the airlock.
I'm going to get the hell out of there, right? So 1, 2 into the airlock, but I have to leave. Oh no, to leave is a free action. Anyone's ship. I attack to get in, but it's free to get out. So if I want him to move again, I've got to spend another action token. And now, boop, I bop him back into outer space over here next to my ship.
Jason.
Yeah, and then he.
This you took, yes.
Yeah, that I have, and then I will spend 1 more to get him back into my ship. So now, haha. I have the data tapes, and that goes onto my control panel over here.
I feel like he knows this game a little too well.
Well, I've played it a lot. So essentially, the boarding actions are, one of the more exciting parts. Now, of course, I've got this little guy here. He hasn't done anything yet. He still gets an attack, right? Oh, no, I didn't. I already used up his attack. So he's stuck there. So my guy's in trouble on the next turn, right?
Yeah.
All right, so what we do is this. We finished our crew, our second crew attack movement phase. So now this goes to Sean. And then we're going to flip over our 3rd card. And we're gonna get our action points. So notice how I had spent all my action points during this turn because I was saving them up for this big move, right? But now I have programmed in a one that has 3 action points because I knew I was going to run out of stuff by this point. So I'm like, I got to get more action points just in case. So I have planned ahead. Now Gina also has planned ahead, but you have nobody to whip. Gina has a cool ability, which is her tail whip.
Well, I haven't gotten there.
No, you haven't gotten there yet, right? Okay, so what we do is we draw our action points again.
I got my 1.
You get yours already, all right, and none. You get none for the tail whip. I get 3 for mine, and I get 1 for my captain. And Sean, how many do you get?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and
then... no, it's just the single card. Oh,
just the single card.
Yeah, just the single card.
I get 4.
Yeah, 4 ability. Yep. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it doesn't add up as you go. Because otherwise we'd have like these massive mounds of actions and it would get ridiculous. So then what we do is Sean is going to go first and we have to move our ships again. So you have to turn starboard.
Yep. Turn to the right 45 degrees.
Yep. And remember, so look at the V in the front of the ship helps you. Think of it as like a little click, right? So you're essentially moving from line to line, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. So then I have to rotate port. So I go to the left. So I go, hello, Sean. And then, Gina, what do? You tail whip. You whip it good.
I do, but I can whip it off the... Can I, like, action onto one of y'all's ships?
No, you're going to have to be next to us because it is a melee attack as a free action. So essentially, all your guys that fight get 2 attacks for free.
Right, but it doesn't count. Like when I come onto your ship.
Yeah, it still counts. It's persistent. So as long as during this turn you get that ability, right?
I'm gonna mess all y'all up.
She's gonna be.
You gotta get to us first.
You gotta get to us first, right? But she does have a big stack of action tokens.
This is true. Yeah.
All right, so Sean, it is your turn to shoot. Is there anybody you want to shoot at?
Get him. He took your stuff, man. He jumped on your ship. He disrespected your captain.
See, this
He just walked on your ship, knocked a guy out, took some stuff, and then walked off your ship.
It doesn't help. If you know me pretty well, I can be quite frequently very indecisive, and I have 2 very, very real threats on either side of me. And
I am literally not a threat at all.
I know where you're going. You're going for that airlock, and you're going to whip some mofo.
I'm going to whip somebody. I'm going to whip somebody who's I'm just going to say that. I'm going to whip somebody.
Yeah, she wants my data tapes.
Yeah.
She wants to whip my brain.
Yeah. All right, I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and
raw alpha male and westward. I'm a natural pro, and then I'm playing both sides.
I'm gonna go ahead and blast Scat.
All right, go ahead and shoot me. So you want to shoot my guns or my ship?
So many options. I'm gonna go ahead and blast your guns.
Okay. All right. So how many guns are you shooting?
How many do I have? I got.
Yeah, you got 3, right?
So many options. Yeah, I got 3. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot
2 manned, 1 unmanned. Yeah, got it. Go ahead.
2 unmanned, 1 manned.
Now
because it's this one.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
No, it's this.
It's this side.
No, it's
because this.
Yeah,
is
you're
this
right.
the front of his ship?
You are
Gina
right.
is much more spatially aware than we are.
I used to work on.
Oh, that
those.
changes things. I thought it was this side. Okay, but can I shoot one of your guns and one of your guys?
Nope.
Or
no, you gotta choose
gotta
either or. Right, because essentially it's like I'm precision targeting or I am just firing.
Okay,
away.
I'm gonna
Spray
go
and
go
pray,
for
baby.
guns. Go for guns then. Okay, so 1 manual, 2 automatic. I got a 2, an 8, and a 1.
So only 1 is hit.
So only one
so you
hit.
shot at a gun, and that would mean that you would hit. Do
I get to choose?
Well,
or?
no, I choose because A, I don't want to lose that good gun, but B, it's more fair for the other player to choose which one they lose, right? So no blast token. It's just you get the gun.
Oh,
so you get a point.
Cool. There's your
All
point.
right, there's your point.
Then, all right.
And then I got your guy. So right now we're score wise we're just 1 to 1 to 1, right? So it's gonna take a while for
I
us.
thought you had 5.
Oh no! I got 5 also, right? I got the data tab. Yeah, I was trying to downplay that.
Gina's mind is just like the Matrix.
All right, so I'm gonna. Can I shoot? I can shoot with my belly gun. I'm gonna shoot at Sean just because he shot at me. So,
you started this.
Well, all right.
I like how they're just literally here, just shooting
I
each
missed at Sean. All right, roll to 4. All right, so now it is Gina's turn to shoot. Is there anyone you can shoot at, Gina?
I don't.
No, your butt is facing us.
Yes.
So you can't shoot with your butt.
Well,
Wow.
It's a different game.
it's not that kind of board game.
All right, thank goodness.
All right, so then that would
So
be
now
your
that was
crew.
shooting. So now it's your crew.
That was
Yeah.
crew.
So now you've got a whole bunch of guys staring at my poor little brain. You're probably gonna do horrible things
All
with.
right,
that
he's
brain.
already standing right next
Yeah.
to
So
you.
we can do a melee attack. So you're the attacker.
Do I use an energy
Nope.
for this?
Remember, they get a free attack.
Okay.
All right,
cool.
here we go. I got a
7.
7. Ha ha! My brain blocks you.
Oh, it
now
blocked. Okay.
So you could shoot with the guy, or you could spend an action token to melee again.
Okay. All right. So then I guess I'll shoot with this guy.
That's a free action, so go ahead and shoot. Then you just roll.
I got a 5.
You got a 5 that would hit, but you know what? I'm going to burn an action token just to annoy you.
Ah.
And haha, my brain slithers out of the way.
Yes, burn those action tokens.
So then if I were to move my guy within range, could he still attack? then?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there's no if you want to move or attack, it's either way. You can choose, so hey, I want to move first and then attack, or I want to attack and then move. It's up to you.
Okay.
Right.
All right. I'll move this guy here and then here.
Yep. So you can shoot at him.
Then go ahead and
Yep.
shoot.
5 through 8.
8.
Now I've got a decision to make. Is it worth it to spend all my action tokens on that little guy? You know what? I'm not. I'm going to sacrifice him. He's a blargling. He's a part of my hive mind. He's going to be 1 point for you.
Cool.
So there you go. Good job.
Alrighty.
Shoot at my brain.
And then as long as Jesse remains in the cockpit, only on 8.
Yep.
All right. So then let's go ahead and try something
David,
fun.
let me try and kill
Let's
everybody.
go 1, 2, and then
He's telling me to wrap the game up. I just want to kill some people.
You may
real
spend
quick.
1 action point to move Jesse 4 spaces while on the star map.
It's her jetpack ability.
I
That's
thought it
pretty
was
cool.
the star ship.
Yeah,
I
you
can't
gotta-
take that
you
move
gotta
back,
plan
can I?
ahead. Well, you could if you want. We'll let you get it.
All right, because
All right,
yeah,
there
I
you
didn't
go.
read that through.
You got to read it through.
Okay, so then nobody's on the control panel. So then for me to launch out, I would need to use a point, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and use a point because
All right.
these all reset the next turn.
Yep.
If
Yeah, you got to use them or
remember.
lose them. Yep.
All
Get
right,
him outside.
So he pops out and he goes over here.
Yeah.
That counts as one turn.
Yep. But he still gets movement because he was on the airlock to begin with.
Okay, so he still gets
And he
two.
still has an attack, which means you can cut into the ship.
Right.
So roll the dice to get into my ship, 5 through 8.
I love how that wasn't even a question. I'm just going for you.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah. So now you got into my
5
ship.
through 8.
So you now have you can go into any airlock you want. You should
Where
go
are
next to
they?
the Master Brain. He needs some friends.
I don't know. He's
Or
a
do you want him on the other
master. Let's go. I don't think I can take on the master with
All
just
right.
one guy.
All right. So now you still have additional movement. Do you want to move towards the control panel?
Yeah.
So you can go 1, and you could even go 1 more.
Oh, one more.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right there. Now remember, you can't go into a spot where there's already a dude. So the advantage of the Blarg ship is that it's very small, so it's easy for people to get around
I think
quickly.
I'm fine with him there.
But the problem is it's also very small, and it's easy for people to start slaughtering people very closely, right?
yeah, that's why I don't want him to go right
Yes,
there.
exactly.
It's like-
All right, so now you can spend another action point to do an attack,
oh, what?
right? You can
Oh,
keep
'cause I
attacking and
attacked to get
moving.
into the ship.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So if you want to get to that control panel, all right, roll it. Are you gonna fight this guy first, or are you gonna move? Because you could just move and then attack as you go. You could like shoot at that, move first, and then shoot at that
Can I
guy.
attack and then move, or
Sure,
move and then attack?
either or.
Okay, I'm gonna attack.
All right, so we're gonna melee on guard. Whoa, easy there, Tiger. I blocked you.
Too
Aha,
excited.
On guard. Do you want to do it again?
Let's do it again.
All right, here you go. Roll the red. Ready?
How am I so bad at dice?
Oh, riposte! Oh, okay, we roll. Now I attack. Ah! And guess what happens?
No! What?
Ah!
So if you deflect me twice, you win.
No, if I kill him, I'll do a blast
killed
point.
you, 7 to 4.
7 to 4. I
But
was the attacker
But
because
you-
we
Because you
riposted.
because you were the
Riposte.
attacker.
Yeah.
When you guys rolled the same, it switches
Yep,
sides.
it switches sides.
Well, I still got more points, and I got more people.
That's true.
So.
You sure do. Raw Alpha Male is laughing at you, Sean.
Yeah, I know. I'm laughing at me too.
Gina Palpatine, is that what?
All right, we're running low on time, so I'm gonna try and make this fast. No thinking. All right, so 1, 2, and then that would take an action point
Yep.
to launch him out.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm gonna save that real quick. 1, 2, another action point. 1, 2.
Oh no, you could have just gone on this other airlock. Just go to the side airlock.
Ah,
Yeah,
damn.
so take that one back
Yeah.
and go to the side airlock, right?
Stay there.
Remember, there's 4 airlocks in the ship. So there you go.
And
Now, if
then-
you get a dude on your control panel, so see that guy that's on the gun? Move him, his 2. Right there. 1, 2.
This one?
Yep. No, to the control panel.
To the,
Yeah, 1, 2.
There we go.
Now you only have to spend 1 and you can shoot 2 guys in outer space.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So spending 1, launching them both.
Yep, there you go. Both
Um,
outside. Now,
You know what? Just because I feel Gina's been doing nothing for a while, so I'll go on 2 fronts here.
All right.
All right. So then I'm gonna attack.
Just letting you know
So-
that's a
Attack both
terrible
y'all.
idea.
So you got to roll
Ship.
one's for my ship and one's for her ship to get in.
Okay. So I need.
Yeah,
another-
here's another die.
Thank you.
And remember, 5
Terrible
through,
idea.
5
or
through
not,
8.
it's An
Which
interesting
one?
Oh, which one was which?
You know what? 5 for Gina.
All right.
That's not fair. No, I think he needs to roll for real
Oh,
because okay, I'll just
What
kill
do you
him.
mean roll for real?
Like,
That was.
no, it wasn't.
All right, so now what are you going to do? So you have to spend an action point to attack that guy.
Okay. All right. Spend an action point to attack.
All right, so Gina, you're the defender. He's the attacker. On guard. Ah, blocked.
I got an 8.
You know what? I'm doing this again.
Wait, but
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, roll again.
This is why I don't go to Vegas.
Oh, he
Oh,
got
hey,
you.
there you
6.
go.
Aha!
So you get this guy.
Wait. So when I
Because
was
in melee, he can't dodge.
But I was the defender that time, wasn't it?
Oh, no, you were...
Because I was attacking first, then we just rolled again.
No, but you
But you
spent
spent
again.
an action point to
yeah,
be
so
the
that was your
attacker.
next attack.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
So you
And
won
then-
that one.
And then can I move still? Because
You still had a move, yeah, because you
Okay.
just spent to do an attack. So
All
you
right.
can move too.
Ooh, now I can move.
You could go after a captain. You could go after crew. You could also you can wreck her guns
I was
by shooting them. So if you just roll and say, all right, I'm just going to shoot them as part of my regular attack. You roll 5 through 8. It blows up a gun. You get a point.
I feel like this is fun.
All right. All right, you're going to fight the captain.
I'm gonna fight the captain, and I need to spend another.
To fight, yeah.
To fight.
Yep. All right, let's do it. On guard. Nice, blocked. Oh man, you were in so much trouble.
I do have.
Yeah, so that's on
Yeah.
your turn, right? So when it gets to you, so this is part of the reason why it's good to sometimes go last.
Yeah.
Because look at,
He's got nothing.
Ding Dong has got nothing, right?
Yeah, he's
Uh-oh.
He's out of luck.
He's in trouble. All right, so I'll do my turn. Really, has she planned this all the way in Norway? So, all right, I'm going to do my turn. Well, you know what? No, you know what the heck? I got to show these dirty humans that they shouldn't step up to the blarg. So I am going to spend an action point to eject my blarg out into outer space here. And then he gets to move. 1, 2, and I'm going to shoot at your guy, Sean, just to show you. So I'm going to roll. You have no more action tokens, right? Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, I guess we got shot. Yeah. Those humans, they fall so easily. All right, I'm done with my crew movement. I'm good. What about you, Gina? What are you going to do?
I would like to eject these 2 homeboys.
Okay, so you're going to spend 1 action token.
What? Why? Because they're on the airlock.
But you want to get your... You normally have to spend 2 if you didn't have a guy on the control.
Oh, I see.
But the control panel allows you to kind of get all the doors open at once.
So they're
Open
here.
all the doors.
So put them out in outer space where you want them to go. Uh-oh, I sense some trouble.
It has to be adjacent to your
Adjacent to your ship.
Adjacent.
Yep, there you go. She's
Is
got
that?
it. Yep,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
adjacent.
all the...
Yeah.
That's
the
just 'cause
lines-
it's
It's
so
just
small.
the board is a little small. It'll be bigger in the final
Okay.
game. All right, so now what do you want to do with those guys?
I go on your
You're
ship.
going to attack my ship, right? So go ahead and roll for each of them to get in. One of them gets in, so get him into the airlock. Any airlock you want. Ah, very smart. All right, so if you want, you could spend another action token to get that guy in as well.
Yes.
So roll the attack. Now get him on an airlock.
And they can't go on the same airlock.
Well, you can't have the same miniature on the same space.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so now you're in. Now what are you going to do?
Well, let's see. I have Tail Whip,
Yep.
which means I can make 1 melee attack as a free action,
Yes.
which means I can attack you twice.
Yes. Well, you can attack this guy once because that's all you need to do is if
I
you
wanna
win.
attack. Oh,
If
yeah,
you
this
win,
guy,
you
yeah.
want to kill that and get that guy off so you can get the data.
Yeah.
Right. So go ahead and attack. You get your free action, your tail attack. Nice. So Gina just whipped me to death, and now you have to spend an action point to grab it.
That's fantastic.
All right.
Will do.
And now you got it.
I will
Now, yep. Move back out.
And then I have a free to get on my ship.
And you got to spend. Actually, yeah, you
I
still
should
have.
have a free to get on
No,
my
you
ship.
still have your movement. Yeah, you get on the ship. So get on your ship.
I'm on my ship.
Gina has it. So get that onto your control panel. Nope, right there. There you go. Oh man, just stole my. How did I come up with the name Blarg?
And now...
I just wanted a funny name that it sounded like a giant brain with a big teethy mouth was gonna say. So yeah, that's it. No special backstory. It wasn't the name of my, my cousin or something like that.
This is my cousin Blarg.
It just is fun to say Blarg, right?
I want to continue killing you.
Oh, you okay? All right. So you can shoot at me.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot at this guy.
Okay, shoot at me. So roll a 5 through 8. Nice, but I'm gonna dodge. How dare you shoot at me?
Oh, you don't have to roll to get your action point when you dodge?
No.
Oh, well,
so
that's boring. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to go back out into outer space and
All
go on my
right,
ship.
go back out. Yep, out you go, and then
And
get
then-
back on your ship. Yep. All right. Is that all you want to do?
No, I want to kill him.
Oh, okay. All right. So go ahead and attack. He gets a free attack.
Yeah.
Roll. Wait. No, he's got to roll against defense because he could riposte. No, he doesn't. He's pathetic. All right. So.
Emperor
All right, so-
Palpatine, I am complete.
So at this point, we would clear out our cards, and if we had any action cards or command cards with stars on it, these get discarded for 1 point. So let's make our little pile here of stuff that we have. So we're probably run out of time. We're probably not
And
going to be able to
Gina-
play another
yeah.
round of this. But what we would play towards a preset number, like 12, 16, something like that. But let's count up our points. So I killed 3 guys, so I get 3 points. Sean, how many guys do you have?
2 guys.
And a gun, right?
And a gun.
And did you discard any action star cards?
Nope.
Nope. All right, Gina, what do you have?
Lots.
Gina has
9.
Yeah, 9 points. So Gina wins the game.
Woo!
So very nice.
Yeah, because strategy, and that's a lot of fun.
Plus strategy.
And
yeah.
I was evil, and I was really evil that
Yeah,
game.
that was good.
That was going to be awesome.
All right, so that gives you a general idea of how the game is. There's other things you can add into the game to give it more personality. For example, we have this character, Princess Persephone. She normally is a token, but on Kickstarter, she'll be available as a cool little miniature.
Oh, that's cool.
And she starts as a prisoner on somebody's ship on the hatch and allows you to draw extra cards for free. You don't have to roll the dice. However, or if she gets grabbed and dragged out onto somebody else's ship, she immediately becomes a member of that crew, and she's actually the best character in the game. She can move faster, she can do more things, her odds are better than anybody else's. So she's actually this really badass character that once you kind of recruit her onto your team, she's like, all right, now I'm awesome and I'm part of your team.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have about 10 minutes left in the show. Let's talk a little bit about your Kickstarter.
Okay, well, the Kickstarter starts tomorrow, April 19th. Oh my gosh, I can't believe the day is finally here. I'm so excited. And so we're going to go live. I don't know exactly what time, but just keep your eyes peeled on Kickstarter. The game is called Rayguns and Rocketships. It's by IDW Games. We're going to have an early bird, I believe, so you'll want to get on into it early because then you'll save a few bucks on the game. It runs for 3 weeks through May 10th. So we only have a very limited time. So what I would love for all your listeners to do is to go out there, spread the word. Go on to the Rayguns and Rocketships Facebook page and become members, and you'll get all types of fun news. If you go to idwgames.com, they have a newsletter that you can sign up for. Give them your email address, and they'll send you exclusive information. You could friend me on Scott Rogers on Facebook or Mighty Bedbug on Twitter. Gosh, I don't know what else. There's lots of Rayguns. Oh, you go into Board Game Geek, and if you play the game, when you get the game and you play it, you can leave a review, or you could take your own pictures of you playing it and put it up and get Geek Gold, which is their little fun little system they have on the website.
What's y'all's first? What's your first goal for Kickstarter that you're trying to hit?
I don't know it offhand. We're still doing literally it's last minute figuring out all this stuff. The guys at IDW know all this. I have been kind of teaching all day actually, so I haven't been able to follow what's going on. But you'll know the minute. I mean, like I said, it's not going to be $100,000. We're not, it's pretty low the amount we're going for. So I think it's doable because the average price of a miniatures based Kickstarter, the target is usually about $80,000. And I think we're either comparable or less than that. I don't know. Yeah. So I feel good. I feel good about the capability of hitting that target. And like I said, the game is like I said, I don't have a hard price on it, but I know it's under $100. So that's going to be a lot cheaper than games like what was the one that just came out? Rising Sun, for example. That was like $120, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you get a lot of miniatures, but you get a lot of minis in this game as well.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, I wish I had hard numbers. I don't, but you'll have them tomorrow, just like the rest of us.
Very cool.
Yeah.
There you go. So you guys at home, you got a little bit of a job to do. You got to let people know because this game is amazing. I love it so much. I lost bad. I don't like losing, but it was fun.
You'll have to play it again. So what did you guys? So question: when I do play testing, when I bring this out to different events, I always ask people a few questions. One was, what did you like most about the game? So Gina, what did you like most about the game?
Well, obviously my beautiful, lovely purple lizards, but I like the ability. Like it's almost like you have 3 separate games going on. You have the game going on in your ship, the game going on in space, and then the strategy game of what's going on in between, like how those are all relating to the other players in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's great. Thanks. I'm glad you like the strategy. So, Sean, the other question I ask is, what did you not like about the game? Because as game designers, it's important for me to know what people don't like as much as what they do like.
There was one thing that came to mind, like a little earlier, maybe 20 minutes ago, but it got overridden by everything else. That was amazing.
And what was the thought?
No, that's the thing. It got overridden.
Oh,
I can't remember it.
All right, fair enough. If you were going to tell me what your problem was, I'd be like, well, too late. The ship is sailed.
The ship is sailed.
Rocket ship. And then, so the other questions that I ask is, did you have fun?
Yes.
Definitely.
Awesome. Okay, and would you play it again?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And my last question is, would you buy it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's a good thing it's for sale on Kickstarter tomorrow.
Yeah,
there you go.
April 19th. So.
Yeah. I feel like the only thing that was difficult for me, and I feel like this is probably because I don't play a lot of tabletop or board games right now, I felt like there was a ton of information to know. And without, unless we have our own pocket Scott Rogers guiding us around.
Well, here's the challenge for game designers. And this is what I tell all my students here at the New York Film Academy, is that you are not included with your game. That's the one thing that does not come with your game. So we've written a really nice rule book that is pretty short. It's not a huge read. It's not, the Bible or anything like that. But it is enough examples and enough information and pictures to give you an idea of trying to capture a little bit of the experience of what it would be like if I were there to explain the game to you. So hopefully we did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
And so that way we could, when you buy your copy of Rayguns and Rocketships and you open it up and you read the rules, hopefully it's clear enough for you to understand. Because that's really the goal of the game design, is if you cannot communicate your rules properly and clearly to your players, then you failed, right? Then they can't play the game. And without rules, you don't have a game.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now this game, I do tend to get a little overwhelmed with certain things.
Sure.
And there are a lot of rules to this game,
Right.
but I love that about this game. And it's because it's one of those games that you have to play a few times to fully understand what you're doing. And it's like chess, you got to practice and you got to do it.
Yeah,
And that's what I like.
absolutely. And I feel like in us playing it tonight, from the very beginning, in my mind, I was like, I'm never going to get this. Like, I am going to die.
But did
so
you guys
quick.
feel like you were starting to get
As
the
soon
rhythm?
as I would say about halfway, watching it go around once, I was like, oh. And it was kind of that little moment of clarity when I really started kind of pulling together my strategy, which was late. If this game had continued on, like Lord knows where I would have gone. But I feel like if you guys have one person at the table who is familiar with the game and getting the game moving it along, it's really easy to pick up. It really is.
Well, the other nice thing about the board gaming community is there's a lot of people that love to share information.
Right.
So if you go on to Board Game Geek or many other websites, there's lots, not only reviews, but how to play videos. And we're probably going to be making our own how to play videos because we like players to know how to play. Yeah.
I like to make videos.
So I'll talk to IDW about that. But essentially, we'll probably be making these videos to kind of teach you the basics of the game. So that way, like you said, I don't come with the game. So you can watch these videos and, it might be me. It might be somebody lovely like Gina or even somebody like Sean doing how to play. So that way, we want the players to have a lot of resources for them to feel comfortable with it. So that way, maybe you're looking at the game, you're like, wow, these seem like a lot of rules. Let me watch the video first. Oh, okay, kind of making it a little more clear in my mind. I mean, they could watch what we just recorded tonight, and once they get the game, I'm sure that they could probably pick it up pretty quickly.
Now, one thing that did just come to mind, I don't know if it's a little late in production because it's very well put together and it's done, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it'd be a very cool Kickstarter thing if you could get her, or maybe instead of her or with her, you get your own little pocket Scott Rogers. I think that would be really cool. That would be the icing on the cake for me.
I don't know. Yeah, Pocket Scout Rogers I don't think is in the budget. But there are other characters that we're going to have. I don't want to give away who they are, but they're super cool. They have crazy abilities, and they are characters that you can use in place of your captain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're mercenaries, and so you can use them with any team. So if, for example, you say, well, my Zard are really good at close combat, but maybe they're not so good at doing crazy flying maneuvers, there may be a mercenary captain that could help you out with that, right? So essentially you then, instead of using the normal guys that come with the game, these stretch goals are ones that will be unlocked, and all these, like I said, there's some really cool and crazy characters that are coming up with that. So
how many board games do you think you've made in your life?
Well, professionally, this is technically my first one. This is my debut professional board game. However, I have, over the years, since I was a little kid, I've always made board games. I've always designed games. I have right now, I want to say like 8 actual playable prototypes of different games. And they range in everything from very complex miniatures-based games such as Rayguns and Rocketships to very simple abstract games where you're literally just have a board and some pieces and you're moving them around, and it's very strategy like Go or chess or that kind of game. So I design kind of a wide variety of things. You can't, as a game creator, you can't kind of help the ideas that you get. You get all types of crazy ideas, and for a game designer, the best thing to do is just make it. And it doesn't matter if it's video games or board games or any sort of game, or a LARP or a role-playing game. You just have to make it and bring it into the world and then play it with other people, because games are meant to be played. And so the sooner you can get it in front of other people, they can start saying, well, I like this, I don't like this, give you really good feedback. You can start making changes, and eventually you'll have a game that hopefully holds together as well as Rayguns and Rocketships does.
I feel that's a very important key element right there. And it goes for pretty much much all aspects in life. It's like if you keep it in your head, if you just think about it over and over again, oh, what if I did this? What if I add this rule? What if I go this way? Blah, 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 blah. You're going to get so convoluted. Everything's going to and you're going to forget things. So you want to write it down. You want to get, as you were saying, you want to get it out there.
Yeah.
And
I always carry a notebook around with me to write all my ideas down because a brain is a very squishy thing. And it doesn't hold information as well as we think it does.
Penguin theory.
Yeah, so.
Well, thank you so much for bringing your amazing game in here and teaching it to us. I would like a pat on the back that I did not chew on not one single miniature.
That's true.
I am not the only person out there who chews on miniatures in games. I know that I'm not. Anyway, it's weird. Whatever. Shut up. Stop looking at me. Anyway, so it's amazing. Your work is amazing, and it's always lovely to have you on the show.
Well, it's
it was
always
a treat.
pleasure to be here.
But it's such a treat to see something that you have just created from the ground up, and it's totally playable. Like, it's not like when somebody's like, "Hey, play test this video game," and it like glitches halfway through and then you die.
Yeah.
Anyway, so guys out there, please give a big thank you to Scott Rogers for joining us. Rayguns and Rocketships, the Kickstarter drops tomorrow. Make sure you check it out, raygunsandrocketships.blogspot.com or the IDWgames.com, boardgamegeek.com.
Yeah.
All of these things.
All these
.coms.
things, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so on to Thursday. Are you with us on Thursday? Is it me and you?
I believe it is.
Is it me and him?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, me and Sean, we're going to be back at it again with the Switch.
Yeah, we're going to be playing the Nintendo Switch, and we're going to be playing Bomberman R and maybe some more snipper clips on Thursday.
Oh, God, no, help us.
That was, I mean...
I'm sorry for cutting your head off in advance.
It's okay. I think we cut each other enough. We're going to get all into it.
And next Tuesday, obviously, we're going to be back here again with Schooled, as usual. And I guess that's pretty much it for our show.
And thank you for everybody who watched. And I
yeah,
hope you
Raw
enjoyed
Alpha
the
Male,
game.
you hung out the whole time.
Let us know if you liked the game. Send us a thumbs up. But once again, Kickstarter tomorrow, Rayguns and Rocketships. Hopefully we'll see you there.
We'll see you guys soon.
Got it.
Love you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
We're just going to wave. Wave.
Wave it out.
Everybody do the wave.
Oh, Scott.
I didn't get to make my 10 board games you already played, but should.
I know.
Aw.
That's okay.